Hey everyone, welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode 138, and from brand new Studio A, Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What's going on, Ant? You look like you're going undercover.
Well, now I'm undercover, but this is me not undercover. So
Yeah,
I know you're usually the one wearing the hat. I decided to do it this week instead.
Little flip flop, if you will.
Little flip flop. No, and Anthony has tired hair, so he's hiding it for today. I just got back from Las Vegas, literally hours ago. Not even a couple hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got back.
Oh, I didn't know you literally just got back.
No. I just got back, which is why I said I hope you're ready for the podcast because I'm not.
I just figured it was just Sunday.
No, it wasn't. Had a lovely 4-hour drive.
Oh, that's right. You can drive there. I always forget that.
Yes, I can drive there. But otherwise, everything is great in Los Angeles. It's wonderful to get back home and to feel not only the heat but the humidity. We are in air conditioner weather already. Everything's going well here.
Good. Yeah, humility is my friend.
We have none.
And humidity is not my friend. So, but good luck over there. Yeah, I'm waiting for the heat to show up. I'm in my new apartment, in the new studio, and I just want to take a moment just to really quickly, because now a lot of this you saw from a distance, but now I'm able to show it off a little bit more.
Yeah, you have a really sweet setup back there now.
I do. Thank you very much.
As you continue to embrace the single life.
Well, absolutely. It may change again. I don't know. But for now, this is what we got. So we got some of the autographs. We got the Hulkster. We got Sonic. We got this I want to just bring down for a moment to show. It doesn't work, but a friend of mine, let me do that. You may not hear me. A friend of mine actually found it in the junk and just thought it would just be cool. I don't know if I showed this before.
Pong. You may have. I'm not sure.
Just an old Pong. Again, it doesn't work. The cord's cut. So, but still, it's just nice to see.
Just to have, Very cool.
I thought that was cool.
Very nice.
And other than that, let me put that back on before the Hulkster falls over. So, and everything will be workable. So I'll be dipping from here as well when I want to play some of my vintage games. So
yes, and I see quite a few of them in the back there. I see quite a few I picked up for you in Japan.
Yes, there are. Yeah, there are. Those are lining up here. And I got some of the Super Famicom ones on the side. So it is what it is. It's pretty cool. And I also have, which is off screen, almost like a cocktail cart, maybe I guess you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
That will be my second screen experience. That will be because I really can't fit anything onto the main TV much anymore.
Okay.
And not only that, I think we've talked about it recently where televisions are just so new, they don't really handle the old stuff anymore too well.
Correct.
So I just have a second television. I put all my minis over there. I can just roll it out because the minis plug in via USB anyway.
Okay.
So I can do it right into the television itself. To make it easy, and I'll probably do like the Xbox and Xbox 360 on there and stuff like that. So,
all right.
But yeah, no, so I got that happening. Still a bit of a work in progress, but this is where we're at so far. This is where I'm at so far.
All right. Well, no, looking good, and best of luck to you in your new locale.
Thank you.
I know you moved really far.
It was a hump too. Trust me when I tell you. But yeah, so we're back. And real quick, even though we didn't really talk about it in our little prep, but won't take too long. How was Barcade?
Oh, Barcade was amazing.
Yeah.
I forgot about that we recorded before I went. No, I forgot that we recorded our episode last week before I went to Barcade.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah.
So Barcade in LA opened officially this past Monday. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, it was a fantastic soft opening that we got invited to. Sorry you couldn't be there for it, but
that's all right.
I brought a couple of friends with me.
Good.
And yep. And it was fantastic. I mean, walk right in. The arcades are right there, right at the door. They start right there. The setup was really good. They have enough space for people to kind of maneuver their way through like the aisles for the games and stuff like that. The bar was serving food.
Oh, okay.
The soft opening, which was cool. That, of course, being a bar, Lots of alcohol that you can purchase there. I don't drink, so I didn't buy any of the alcohol.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that. But I did pour a ton of money into the arcades, which was what pretty much the point was for me going there.
Good.
What I liked about it, though, is that there were 2 rooms. So
yes,
there's like a front room that I guess is the main room, and it's got like, a bunch of pinball machines and arcades. But then there's a long hallway where the bathrooms are. But when you keep going down to the back, there's another bar in the back. And and then again, like maybe about, maybe a dozen or so more arcades. And then there's a seating area in the back and stuff like that. It almost feels like you can kind of close off the back if you wanted a private party.
That would make sense, because if you close off the back, you have the private party in the back, and then you can still keep the front open to the public.
Yep.
Friend of mine, though, has told me, and I don't know, now I may have misheard him, so don't exactly quote me on this. It is either the largest of its kind in the country or the largest barcade in the country.
Okay.
Because of the 2 rooms and the number of games that are in there.
Got it. Well, I mean, whichever one it is, it's very impressive.
I mean, you were at the one in Brooklyn, so I mean, size-wise, even when the front room looked big.
No. It's bigger than the one in Brooklyn for sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Based on the layout, it's hard to tell if they have more games than the one in Brooklyn. I'm assuming it does, just because of the size. I mean, well, first off, I don't remember the one in Brooklyn having pinball machines, correct?
No. I think that's a new addition for them.
Yeah. See, they had, I want to say 10 or 12.
Oh, wow.
There.
Okay.
So a good healthy number, including there was a Star Wars one, nice. Nightmare on Elm Street, my personal favorite, Twilight Zone. So I was very, very happy with that. They had a Pirates of the Caribbean one, a bunch of other ones, but some really good and some really great arcade. Like they kind of like picked like the best of everything that you can find.
They
so
do,
yeah. So in other words, like there was no original Pac-Man because they had Miss Pac-Man. So they didn't try and double up on games. That would be repetitive because, Miss Pac-Man is considered, the better of the Pac-Mans or the best of the Pac-Mans.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, so that's why they had that there instead of regular Pac-Man, which, by the way, when I left Barcade that day, my high score was intact.
Oh, nice.
I'm curious to see what happens when I go back.
They do, I think they do circulate games sometimes. They'll pull some games, they'll put ones in. I doubt they'll move them between, they may move them between barcades here because there's like 3 or 4 of them here in New York between Brooklyn and the city. But out there, with that being the only one, they may still swap them out.
Well, they may just swap them out, put like one in storage for a month, put a different one in, and like that. Yeah, that way you're not overcrowding it with more games. What was really interesting, there was I can't remember the name of the game, but there was a game that Sega made in, I think, 1992 or something like that. And I recorded it on the video. If you didn't see the video, please go to our Facebook page. Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast. You can check out the video from Barcade that I posted last Monday. I went live from there. But there was a holographic game that Sega came out with in like 92 or 93. And it was all about time travel. And it was basically like a Dragon's Lair type of thing, where there was a video unfolding in front of you and you had to press the button or the direction.
Like in time.
Yeah, in order to shoot the person before they shoot you, so that you can fix the timeline that's been messed up or whatever. And it was full motion video that they recorded and they put it into hologram. It was really, really cool, but I had no idea that this came out like 27 years ago.
Right. I think they had the same game in the New York City one. Because that's the one that's like 20 blocks down from Madison Square Garden. I went to that one. When you look at it like in person, it's one thing to see it on the video like that you filmed, but when you see that game in person, I mean, it is a hologram. It is like actual, really like looks like real people inside the machine playing that you're playing the game. But I'm glad to hear. And Barcade's not that far from you, so it's good for you, right?
11-minute drive.
Oh, I wish. Come on, Barcade, Long Island. It's not that hard.
And yes, it is. But so anyway, it was really great. Had a blast. Played some really awesome games. I have to say that the highlight for my friends and I there was a 3-player game, and there were 3 of us there, which worked out nicely. A 3-player Japanese game called Bishibashi. Now I have no idea what Bishibashi means.
Is that the spanking one?
No, it was not the spanking. No, that's what was that? Roomba or something like that.
Something like that. I don't know.
Or oh no, Boonga Boonga.
Oh, that's
Boonga Boonga. But no, this
crazy.
game was called Bishibashi, and basically the best way that I can describe it is it's kind of like like the mini games in WarioWare or Mario
okay.
Party.
Yeah.
And it's a tower. It's a stacked tower of like 5 sections or 4 sections of 5 different challenges, and they're all really weird challenges because Japanese games they're kind of weird.
They are. They
and it had 4 buttons in front of you. It was like a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow. And what you did was you had to press the buttons in a certain way based on the mini game you were playing, and then when you got to a certain point, you hit the yellow button to stop. And it was team oriented, and all three of you had to do it cumulatively in a certain amount of time in order to advance to the next level.
Okay.
And there were all these like crazy different games that you had to play on it. I'm trying to get one pulled back into my brain, but they were all really weird. So I'm having a hard time remembering. But anyway, the bottom line is like my friends and I, we poured every token we could into it to finish the game. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
Absolutely awesome. And okay. So perfect example was one. There was one where it was like you're a paparazzi, and the object was to take photos of the celebrity when they show up to pose.
Wow. Okay.
And based on where they were standing, it was like red is if they're standing on the left, green is if they're in the middle, blue is if they're on the right. So as soon as they show up, you had to press it in the right direction, and you had to keep doing it until you caught everybody, and then press the yellow button, and then they would count the time.
Oh wow!
You do all that. It just like you would think. It's weird, it's a weird little game, and you don't think anything of it, but it was so much fun. So highly recommend it. If you ever come across a Japanese game called Bishibashi, I recommend you check it out. I think it was Namco or Konami. I don't remember which one.
Namco. All right, cool.
I think it was Namco. But anyway, really fun. Had a blast at Barcade. And if you live in the Los Angeles area, I highly recommend that you check out Barcade. It's in
Highland Park.
Yeah, Highland Park area on York Boulevard. Just really, really cool place. They will card you because it's a bar, so you have to be 21. Yep. Anybody under 21 who listens to us, I'm sorry.
Well, they have family nights. I've seen them. They're already promoting family nights, like from like noon to 5 or something like that. So you can bring kids in during those times.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that the bartenders won't be serving the kids.
I don't know. In LA, we'll see.
Well, it is all about making connections.
No, we're kidding. Barcade will never do that. Every other arcade bar will, except Barcade.
That is right. But yes, highly recommend Barcade. Definitely check it out in LA.
And like Anthony said, we do thank Barcade for allowing us into the soft open. Barcade's kind of becoming our unofficial bar arcade of the Retro Gamers podcast. So drink and play responsibly.
Sure. You're not intimidating at all.
I learned my own lesson. I feel like it's weird. Like the way this angle is, I don't know. It's odd.
Well, just so you know, when you point at the screen, it just looks weird because we're not in 3D. So stop.
I know. Boo. Oh, well. Yeah. Speaking of 3D and what could be virtual reality, let's get into some news here before we get way off track. PlayStation, who's completely copying off Nintendo with Nintendo Direct, has their State of Play.
I don't know what you're talking about. They just came up with it all on their own.
Of course, it's like Burger King stealing the Whopper.
What
Not the Whopper. Well, the Big Mac. That's what they stole.
I was just gonna say the Whopper is the Whopper and the Big Mac is the Big Mac. They are perfect. They are absolutely the same thing. But anyway, So Sony has decided to start doing these State of Play things, and their first one was in March. It came off a little hinky. A lot of people were a little like
VR.
Yeah, it was all VR related, but the most important thing that came out of the one back in March, which we did not cover on our podcast, was that Iron Man VR is on the way, and holy cow, I cannot wait to get my hands on Iron Man VR. Insane. That's the only way to describe it. Only way to describe it. If you have not seen the video for Iron Man VR, or if you're not 100% sure about VR, I think this game will sell you on it. No question. So check it out wherever you can. Check out the preview for that. But anyway, so last week, I think it was on Wednesday, Sony held their State of Play. And they made, and these State of Plays are basically like the same way with Nintendo. They just give you some news on a handful of items that are coming up.
Yeah, it brings you into the now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why wait for E3 or anything else to make all these big announcements? Let's keep the players informed as we go along. And I actually think it's really smart that they're doing this.
Especially now that Sony said they're not going to have a presentation at E3.
Yeah,
So,
I think a lot of people are pulling out of E3 because, a few years ago, E3 closed itself off from the public, and it was only business related. So you had to be part of some kind of business that was video game related so that you can attend. Which is great in the aspect to your businessmen. I was like, but what about the actual gamers? I mean, you're not getting any of the gamers excited about anything at E3. You're just getting the corporate buyers and stuff like that excited. And that, I feel like that's kind of a misstep on the E3 side. And I get it. It was getting too big. Like, they were getting too big and crowded, which is why they backed off. But at the same time, it's like, you should embrace that kind of the way that Comic-Con has embraced film and television.
Yes,
agreed. Comic-Con isn't just about comic books anymore. It's pretty much about everything entertainment. And because of that, it's blown up, ridiculously, and in a good way for them. So I feel like E3 may have made a misstep, and who knows, maybe they'll turn around and come back. But anyway, to your point, Sony has decided to forego making an announcement at E3 or having a presence at E3, but now they're starting these monthly state of plays, which, again, like you said, like Nintendo Direct, maybe they're copying them. It doesn't matter. The fact is, gamers are getting information, which is good because it's great to know ahead of time what's coming down the pipe.
Exactly. And it's like in 15, like the first one I think was maybe a half hour because it was the first one they did, but now they're like about 15-20 minutes. You can watch them whenever you want. I mean, nowadays with the internet, it's going to spoil it like that.
Yep.
But otherwise you just kind of sit down when it's time, you watch it at your own pace, and we're going to go through some of the stuff. I know it's going to close with something that one of us has been waiting for a very long time.
Just a tad. So I'm gonna run through the news really quickly, and I'm gonna look over at my other screen over here so I can make sure that I capture everything for you guys. Exactly. So I'm just gonna turn
and pivot.
So anyway, so the first thing that they announced was, or not the first thing, but the first thing that I want to talk about specifically is that there's this event coming up called Days of Play. Have you heard about this?
I've heard of it. I'm still a little confused in how it works. I don't know if you have any news on it. But first of all, what's coming out for it that they announced is really sweet looking. Not for nothing. But I think Days of Play is just trying to get a community together.
Yeah, so Days of Play has announced. Days of Play. It's just literally like what you just said. It's kind of like just in it, like a week long. I want to say like a week long event. June 8th to June 10 days. June 8th to June 18th. And again, it's just this one thing where they're celebrating the idea of play. And what they're releasing is a limited edition Days of Play PlayStation 4.
It looks sweet too.
So, and again, it's going to be $299. That's the retail price. And I'm just going to read really quickly. The limited edition Days of Play Blue PlayStation 4 system. So it's blue. The system itself is blue. The system itself is blue. Is complete with a 1 terabyte hard drive and matching DualShock 4 wireless controller.
Nice.
Play incredible games, team up with your friends online using PlayStation Plus, watch live TV and movies, listen to your favorite music and more. The possibilities are endless. Greatness awaits. So, and I gotta say, it looks really impressive. And then on the cover of it, they have on the top of it, there's the PlayStation logo in the upper right corner, and it's in gold. And then in the middle of it, you have the square, triangle, XO, which are the buttons, obviously. And there's a nice little pattern behind it that looks like, it almost looks like really like it's kind of coming or floating or something like that.
Yeah, but no, that's really sweet looking.
Yeah, and the DualShock controller is also blue, so it's really, really cool all around.
Is it a Pro?
It does not say that it's a Pro.
Siri, stop. Hey Siri, shut up.
When did you say Siri?
Because she started talking at some point.
No, it's a well, actually what's interesting is that maybe there are two. I think maybe there are two because there's a PS4 Slim also coming. PS4 limited edition steel gray console also coming for Days of Play event.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
Yeah, so there are two versions coming.
Let me ask you a question real quick, because it just dawned on me. With these like special edition consoles. I mean, like, it's one thing to upgrade from like a regular to a slim or like a regular to a pro, if you will. I mean, at what point does it have to take for you to go, you know what? Let me rebuy the exact same system I have with no upgrades, but just the fact that this one looks a lot sweeter than the one I have now.
Well, I feel like, I mean, it basically comes down to if you're a collector, like
Okay.
it's one of those things. A perfect example is like, the original NES when they came out with the top loading one.
Oh, yes.
It's like, oh, this is cooler, this is different. So even if you had an original Nintendo, you just thought maybe, oh, this was cooler and easier for me. And some of those were released in limited quantities, so as a collector, the value for those are a lot higher. Perfect example where they really take advantage of it are in controllers. If you own if you own a Power Glove from the original NES, or if you
so cool.
Yep, if it's so rad. If you have like the NES Advantage joystick controller, so on and so forth. Like there are all of these things that always come out. It's the same thing with consoles now. I feel like consoles are offering these limited editions because people want those special ones. So you got this blue one coming out. You've got a steel gray PS4 Slim coming out for Days of Play. I think that in a way, it's like you can get it and play it to be cool, or you can look at it as an investment because, like, let's say 5 years from now, they only made a handful of these things. The value for them goes up. So if you're a collector, you buy it for the value. If you're not a collector, you buy it because it's cooler. And you also trade in your old one.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
For a new one. So you're not paying 100% for it. You're paying, well, if you go to GameStop, you're paying like 95% after trade. But and that's why they're in trouble. So, but yeah. So the two different versions that are coming out look really, really cool. Me personally, I kind of like the blue one better.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue one I like a lot better. However, the steel gray one seems to be the one that they focused on at the State of Play this month. They have a nice little 20-second video of it. It looks really, really cool. So if you're looking to get a new PS4, or if you're looking to buy a PS4, hang on until June and get one of these really cool ones. It's not, it's only a month away.
Why not? Why not? What else do we got from the State of Play?
All right, what else do we have? Okay, so we have. Do you remember the PlayStation 1 game Medieval?
Yes, actually, with the skeleton, like the one-eyed skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah. So Medieval, they have announced, is getting a 4K remaster on the PlayStation 4.
Nice.
So, and they released a little teaser to it.
Okay.
And this was released back in. Wait a minute. That's interesting. I'm sorry. Yeah. No. Just an update on Medieval. They actually announced it because I'm learning these things as we're going along, of course. They announced this back in 2017. What they announced at State of Play is that it has an official release date of October 25th this year. So Medieval will be dropping October 25th of this year. It's been 2 years since the announcement, so this has been a few years in the making. Mm-hmm. But at least we're getting that version of Medieval in October of this year.
All right, cool.
Got that.
I like it.
Moving on, Monster Hunter World. Have you heard?
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, I've definitely seen the games. I think I played a demo. Mm-hmm. I never got into them, but not for no other reason than just I have a very short attention span. Mm-hmm. But the games themselves are breathtakingly gorgeous.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, to your point, I've never played it, but obviously I've watched videos of it and seen it. I mean, it's an absolutely gorgeous, stunning game. And of course, if you don't know about, from the name of the title, you are hunting monsters, and they're these giant monsters, and you're this little person. It's very, first off, it's very picturesque.
You're not a little person. You're a normal.
Well, you know what I mean. You're a regular sized person, but these monsters are gigantic, right?
It's like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes, a bit like that. So they did a PlayStation or Sony, I should say, did announce that Monster Hunter World is getting an expansion called Iceborne, and that will be arriving in September.
All right.
Specifically September 6th for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Oh. And then the PC will get the release sometime after in the winter. They don't have a specific date yet. The new area you travel to is called the Hoarfrost Reach.
Watch your language.
That's HOAR Hoarfrost. A new region on the massive island from the core game. So you get in a whole new area there, and it looks very cold and snowy. So best of luck to you in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So
cool.
There's that.
Sweet.
All right, we got 4 more things that they announced really quickly.
Cow. All right.
Okay, so there is this very popular game called Riverbond.
This I never heard of.
So yeah, this is interesting.
Or at least I'm missing the boat on it. No pun intended.
Well, let's see. I'm going to read it really quickly. Well, the company's name is Coco Cucumber.
Bird, you the bird.
Coco Cucumber's colorful and stylish voxel dungeon crawler Riverbond will officially be heading to the PlayStation 4 as seen in the new State of Play trailer. So it's voxel art with a slash and shoot dungeon crawler where up to 4 players can team up to take down monsters across numerous environments.
Okay.
So let's see. And it's going to include character skins from other indie games. So in other words, when you're playing as a dungeon crawler, they released 8 skins were shown in the trailer from Bastion, Psychonauts, Shovel Knight, Enter the Gungeon, Guacamelee, Knights and Bikes, Planet of the Eyes, and Lovers in Dangerous Space Time. There's Shovel Knight right there. So Riverbond, really cool little dungeon crawler. It looks like it's going to be lots of fun on the PlayStation 4 and the PC. Okay. Are you done playing with your Shovel Knight?
No, I love that game.
Okay. A couple more things. And I love this. I love this. I'm reading this off of GameSpot really quickly, but I love the tagline here. Have you ever wanted to be a possum? Now is your chance.
Oh, this game looks very interesting.
This game looks interesting, but have you ever wanted to be a possum? No.
Well,
no. I've never had an interest in being a possum. Not even in my wildest dreams. I think I would love to be a possum.
Be some creepy animal with little babies attached to it. Right. I'll be a raccoon.
So anyway, the name of this third-person adventure game coming to the PS4 is called Away, the Survival Series. And the developer of the company, Breaking Walls, says that it's inspired by nature documentaries.
This one I saw this trailer. The one I saw was I think it was a flying squirrel or whatever you want to call the things. I forgot what the animal's called. I don't think it's a flying squirrel. Something that glides. A glider. I think it's called. Sugar glider. I think they're called.
Sugar glider.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such a different. Like the concept is so different, yet at the same time, we've played so many games like this, just not in this way. It's very weird, but I'm definitely interested in it.
Yeah. So you're playing as a possum, a sugar glider possum.
They're a possum. They're considered a possum.
They're considered a possum. Sugar glider possum. And then let's see. It's not easy being a possum close to the bottom of the food chain, but it gets worse. A cataclysmic storm is coming. As that's happening, you will zip around the world using the possum's elastic skin to glide around environments like forests, caverns, and swamps. In addition to gliding, the little sugar glider can run quickly and dodge, which comes in useful when evading a stinging scorpion.
I want to be a honey badger.
Now, they were already developing this game for the PC and the Xbox One, but now they recently announced it's coming to the PlayStation 4.
I'm in.
So no official release date on that one yet, but good news for anybody out there who wants to become a possum. You soon will be able to in Away, the Survival Series.
I think we should use Sugar Glider. It's. I think it comes off a little better.
Possum.
Possum.
Yes. Moving on. So apparently, Sony PlayStation, not Sony PlayStation, IllFonic. If you haven't heard of the company called IllFonic,
no.
Yes, you have. And I'll tell you why.
Because reading is fundamental?
Yes.
Okay.
The more you know. So, IllFonic is the company behind Friday the 13th, the game.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
So, but what was announced yesterday is that IllFonic has been working with Fox, 21st Century Fox now.
Oh, yes.
Now owned by Disney.
That damn mouse.
I know. So Disney, Disney Fox is and Disney Fox and IllFonic are working together to come out with a game called Predator Hunting Grounds.
Yes.
And this is based off of the Predator film series. And basically it's an asymmetric shooter game where a group of players take on the title of hunter, who is controlled by players. Well, I'm sorry. The players take on a predator. So it's exactly like Friday the 13th, except you have a group of people who are the hunters or the players, and then one person plays the predator. And the object is to either defeat the predator or the predator kills all of you.
Please tell me either Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Jesse Ventura are somehow involved with this.
Carl Weathers is dead. So
is he dead?
I thought he was dead.
He's not dead.
Okay, well, he's dead in my eyes.
Oh my God! I mean, Apollo was killed in Rocky IV, but
I heard he died for real.
Now I have to look this up.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm checking on it. I ain't got time to bleed.
We must find out if Carl Weathers is alive. Meanwhile, there's no information on whether or not they got Carl Weathers or Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those people. But the bottom line is Predator Hunting Grounds, which is going to be
alive.
Okay, fine. He's alive, barely.
Happy Gilmore.
New online multiplayer game coming to the PlayStation 4. It looks really, really cool. It's kind of got a bit of a top-down view, based on the images they show.
Well, that's because the predator hangs out in the trees.
No, but then it comes down it looks like you got a top-down view, but then it comes down to third-person perspective.
Oh, okay.
So you're you're actually in the jungle searching out the predator.
So this is not necessarily the first time kind of like this, because I know in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, there was a DLC that was where you went after the predator, and it was an official, release and everything. Buddy of mine, Tim, who listens, friend of ours, Tim, I think he played it. He said it was fantastic. That's just DLC in an already existing game. This Predator game that's coming out, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and to see how close they work with 20th Century Fox. We'll see how accurate it will be.
My concern is that the Predator is going to show up with Mickey Mouse ears on.
Everything is.
I know, they really are.
At what point is Disney going to be sued as a monopoly?
I don't know, but they should have already. That's just me. The mouse rules all. One mouse to rule them all.
It really does. Good Lord. That frozen head of Walt Disney is doing good.
Oh, boy. And then moving on from there, the last bit of news that came out of Sony's State of Play is, a bit of news that I have personally been waiting on for a very, 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 very long time, especially since they originally announced this game in 2015.
Was it that long ago?
It's already been gestating for 4 years. Okay, 4 long years I've been waiting for this. They finally came out with a new trailer for the remake of Final Fantasy VII. And let me tell you something, that trailer is stunning.
No, it looks
absolutely
beautiful.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. So if you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go check it out on YouTube or wherever you check your video game news. We did share it on our page.
Go find it now.
Facebook. But definitely find it, check it out. If you're fans of the original Final Fantasy VII, you will not be disappointed. It's basically a carbon copy of the original Final Fantasy. Just the look of it is unbelievable. And I think I even saw a video online where somebody did a comparison of the old one to the new one in terms of scenes.
Yeah.
And you could just see they kept true to the original game and kept the story intact and everything like that. But they made it look unbelievable.
Oh, really, that's awesome.
So cannot wait for it. We're still waiting for an official release date. I believe they said it was at the end. I believe they said it was at the end of the year or early next year.
I don't know. I think
who knows?
The day after the sun supernovas, apparently.
Yeah, basically, we can't trust anything that they say. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. However, Final Fantasy VII Remake, new trailer dropping. Definitely check it out.
Look, the Square Enix building is right by LAX, so I don't know why you haven't yet made a trip down there. Be like, excuse me, Retro Gamers here. We want to know when the hell is the Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out?
I tried that, and now my picture's on the wall, and I can't get through the front door.
Damn it, I hate when that happens.
I know it happens more to you than me, but
well, that is highly accurate.
Yeah, but anyway, right. That's pretty much that sums up everything that happened in this week's Sony State of Play. So so for anybody out there who listened to it or watched it, we'd love to hear what you think about it. Just go on our Facebook page or write us up on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast and let us know what you thought of this month's, I'm sorry, these are going to be monthly things. This month's Sony's State of Play.
All right, and it is rapidly approaching. It's coming up, the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo 2019.
Yes, it is. It is coming up really fast.
It is August 10th, August 11th at the Cradle of Aviation Museum in Garden City, New York, and the retro gamers will be there. We got a table, for crying out loud, so make sure you show up.
And if you don't show up, tell people to show up. Otherwise, there's no point in us being there, and we won't show up.
No,
we're showing up. Okay.
Contractually obligated at this point to show up.
Okay.
Single day tickets right now, if you buy early, you save money. $22 for adults, $12 for children. A child is considered 4 to 12 years old. You can get a 2-day weekend pass, $40 for adults, $20 for children. And they have a couple of VIP packages you can check out. Just to put it into perspective, at the door, the tickets go up $3 each. So buy soon, buy early. Our friends at Playable Characters Podcast are going to be there. I do believe Pat the NES Punk may be there.
Oh, very cool.
I just saw him advertised, so
very
that's
nice.
Cool. And if not, we're going to edit that part out. So we're going to check that out. But a lot of cool guys there, and of course, all the merchandise you can buy. You think this wall's done? There are shelves down here that are bare, people, that I have to fill. Okay?
I find that hard to believe, but looks like it might be true.
Well, there is actually some spots down there. But make sure you get your tickets. Long Island Retro Gaming Expo 2019, August 10th, August 11th. All right. Well, let's time for some news. Time to talk about some stuff. And I know I saw it. Obviously, I was there. I do believe you saw it. A new movie came out that I was so happy to see.
You are?
Yes. We're talking about the new Legally Blonde. No, I'm kidding. Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Opened up this weekend. Actually, I heard it did really good for a Thursday showing for a video game movie, which I know doesn't say too much, but I have a lot to say about it. We're not going to go into details about the story.
Why? I was going to give away the whole thing.
Don't. And
I am scared.
But I got to say this just right off the bat. Look, it's not going to win any Oscars, obviously not, but this is probably one of the most fun movies, just pure fun, that I've seen in a long time.
So wait, so you're telling me that Mr. Mime is not going to get put up for Best Supporting Actor?
Probably not, but the fact that Mr. Mime was even in the movie looking like Mr. Mime, you know what? I think I put this on Facebook when I came out of the theater. Paramount with their Sonic, and Sonic played, the trailer played before Pokemon. Did it play?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Detective Pikachu, in my opinion, is the way a video game movie like this should be made. I really agree. I found no flaw, meaning like just based on what it's based on, I couldn't find a flaw. It was that good in that aspect.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I think what they managed to do and what they managed to capture, which is what a lot of video game movies always fail to do, is the believability of it. Because translating any video game franchise into a live action is it's a daunting task. Because imagine. Yeah, I mean, now if you did an animated film and it's entirely animated, which Pokemon has done before, they've done animated Pokemon films. I mean, not to say that it's completely easy, but it's a lot easier to do than translating, these characters that are basically 2D animated characters into the, real life, the real world, so to speak, a 3D world and CGI. But to your point, they managed to do it in a way where they married the characters with humans and the actual real world. And they did it really, really well in a very smart way that you kind of almost felt like this was just the norm. Like, in other words, it wasn't the type of thing where people were like, oh my God, I just found this Pikachu and I don't know what this thing is. Nobody's ever seen this before in our lives, to, oh no, humans live with Pokemon. That's just the nature of our world and where we live. And they kind of just set that up immediately as if it's part of the world. They don't, there's no questioning it. There's no, when did this start?
Exactly.
How did it start? It's just that this is the world we live in. We expect you as the audience to go along with it. And you know what? it worked. It absolutely
Totally.
works.
Totally. You know, you're to your point. You're exactly right. It's not like someone found a Pikachu and like started freaking out like they saw ET for the first time. Because that's the game. The game is like that. Pokemon exist, and how this movie did it, and which I've been saying for so long, but I was only able to base it on a trailer. But now actually watching the movie, the way they just pulled these Pokemon, their design straight out of the video game. They didn't try and change them to make them look realistic. They didn't try and make them look like, to have like regular human form. Mm-hmm. They were just what they were. They were Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And again, story-wise, I thought the story was cute. It is what it is. It's a Pokemon movie. It's meant for kids. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, maybe. Yeah. It was a short movie compared to what we've been used to recently. Mm-hmm. And again, for that, I'm not comparing it to Endgame, but just for that, I gotta say this is one of the best video game movies, if not the best video game movie as far as pulling from the source material that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I gotta agree with you on that, which is rare. I know it's hard for me to
pick something apart. I'm waiting.
Well, no. I'm putting the critic in me aside. Okay. Because if you
story's a story.
Yeah, no, because if you want me to get critical, trust me, I've got places to pick.
I'm sure, but again, it's just a cute. It's basically a kids movie. It's a PG.
No. And I'll just share a little story because I think it's really funny. So on Friday, my friends and I were driving to Las Vegas. There were 4 of us in the car. Now, granted, like the youngest of us, I am the youngest of us.
Oh, wow.
In the car. Okay. Everybody, and I don't mean everybody's like a ton older than me. Everybody's a little bit older than I am. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, I am 40. Right. So, and you're going to be 40 soon. Don't worry. It's coming. So anyway, I am 40, but I am a very young 40. Very young enough to go to a Pikachu movie with friends so that people don't think I'm suspicious. So
you mean like going by yourself?
You went by yourself
in the back?
Yeah. All right, creepo. Did you wear a hat and a long trench coat?
I did wear a hat. I don't own a trench coat. What can I say? You know what? I got the ticket for free after seeing Endgame. So I mean, I would have paid. Don't get me wrong.
Anyway, Long Island Police Department. I will happily give you his address.
Dare you?
Anyway, so the 4 of us are driving up to Las Vegas, and we're like, okay, we're gonna get there at like 2 o'clock, or like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're like, what are we gonna do with the day? Because we didn't really plan anything out. So we're like, all right, we'll check into the hotel, and then what are we gonna do? So then while we were in the car, we were kind of planning on what to do. First thing we decided to do was we wanted to do an escape room because my friends and I really love those escape rooms.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. And so we booked an escape room while we were in the car so that when we got there, we would do that. But then we were all like, well, what else can we do? Obviously, besides gambling and stuff like that, because we were going to do that on Saturday instead of doing it the entire time. And so everybody was like, oh, do you want to go to the movies? And then one person in the car just kind of said, I don't want to say this out loud, but I kind of want to see Detective Pikachu. Wait.
Can I guess who in the car may have said it? I don't even know who the other 3 people are.
It was not me.
Oh, okay.
No, it was not me. Somebody else in the car said, I kind of want to see Detective Pikachu. At which point, the other 3 people in the car, me, one of those 3, were like, yeah, I kind of want to see it too. And we were all a little embarrassed to admit that we wanted to see it. So now, granted, the one who admitted she wanted to see it has an 8-year-old. So
okay.
Which makes total sense. No, the 8-year-old did not come to us with us debate. But we all kind of admitted it. So we're all like, do you want to go? So we decided that we would go see Detective Pikachu in Las Vegas on Friday night.
There's a great meme going around, the scene from Billy Madison when he's just sitting there. It's like me. And then on the top, it's like, the Detective Pikachu theater.
Yeah. I saw that with all the kids. But what was really fun about it was I got to sit in the theater. And literally right next to me was probably this 16 or 17-year-old kid.
Okay.
And he had his little brother next to him who was maybe 8 or 9. Right. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I go, he's got his little brother with him. And by the way, there were like a whole bunch of teenagers in the audience, like a whole bunch of high schoolers, literally all filed in at the same time, like 50 of them. And they're all sitting around each other and they're talking and whatever. But this kid, this teenager brought his little brother, which I thought was really cool of him to do, especially because all his friends were there. But the 9-year-old is sitting there watching the movie, and he's excited because he obviously knows Pokemon. He's getting excited. But what I wasn't ready for is the 16-year-old kid next to me, who probably looks like he plays football or something, literally jumping up and down in the seat and getting excited when certain Pokemon showed up on the screen. He would literally be like, "Oh, did you see the Bulbasaur? Look at the Bulbasaur!" And I'm like, and I keep giving him the side eye, and I'm like, hey.
That's like when I went and saw Power Rangers, the new Power Rangers movie. I went to the movie, and the guy in front of me, who was probably the same age as me, literally doing the same thing. He's like, "Oh, that was from Ninja Force. Oh my God, that was from whatever, SPD or something like that. Tommy Oliver. Oh my God." And I gotta say, to your point, I kind of wish neither one of us ever really played the core Pokemon games.
No, we have not.
I started playing Pokemon Yellow, but I didn't get that far into it. Not because I just didn't get far into it. But after watching this movie, I wish I did play those games, because I kind of wanted to sit there and go, "Oh my God, there's a Bulbasaur. There's
Right.
Mr. Mime. There's what the hell is that fish called?
Magikarp.
Yeah, the Magikarp. I'm like, oh my God. And again, they look exactly like the game.
No, they do. And you know what? Thanks to Pokemon Stadium on N64 and thanks to Pokemon Go on my cell phone, I now know the names of most of these things. Thank you very much for wasting my brain cells. But the whole idea of watching these people, and another kid in front of me who was 16, 17 years old, walked in with his Bulbasaur plush. So I'm like,
oh,
okay.
I know someone actually, you met him in October. We kind of know someone in his 20s who I'm sure went to the movie with his Bulbasaur or Pikachu, whoever he is.
Right, but the bottom line is,
awesome.
The bottom line is, obviously there's an appeal there, and it was great and everything like that. And like we were both saying, the movie did manage to deliver on a lot of fronts. Now, granted, again, the critic in me, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, is this the most cohesive story in the world? Are the characters in the world? Look. The answer is no. I
put 2 and 2 together about halfway through.
I put 2 and 2 together 5 minutes in.
Well, it figures.
5 minutes into the movie, I'm like, I look over at my friend, and then when we left the theater, one of them was like, "So did you figure out it was blah, 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 4 minutes in?" And I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, that just came just like that. But again.
But even that didn't ruin it. Yeah.
No, but that didn't really ruin it at all. So, and that was the cool part about it. It's you can still go along the ride because, again, we're not the target audience. The target audience are going to be, the target audience are really going to be kids and parents who played this game when they were kids. Because parents who played this in the mid-90s are now adults with children.
I got news for you. There's still kids from the 90s who played it, who still played hardcore today. And we're talking about the games. I mean, I know a lot of guys at work who are looking forward to. We're getting a new, I think it's 8th or 9th generation Pokemon game coming to the Switch. Not the Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. That's not considered. Yeah. Sword and Shield when they come out are the new ones, which I may get one of them now. But yeah. So bottom line, this to me, after seeing the Sonic trailer and then it goes right into the Pokemon movie, I'm like, man, Sonic, you got a lot of work to do, because the Pikachu proved that you can do that type of movie. You suspend disbelief. It is what you're in this world, and you can have a character that looks like that and just roll with it. And
most importantly, and I think this was really, really brilliant on Pokemon, the Pokemon Company or Paramount or whoever managed to do it.
Toho, I didn't know Toho was involved with it.
Yeah, and Toho was involved as well.
Which explains why they had a Godzilla trailer. I was like, oh my God.
Exactly. but I'm going to give them credit where credit is due. The smartest thing that they did was cast Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu, because because even if you weren't a big
you didn't like that.
And I didn't like it, because when I saw it in the trailer, I'm like, this is a weird disconnect for me, because hearing Ryan Reynolds talking as Pikachu just was strange. Yeah. But watching the movie with Ryan Reynolds playing Pikachu, It worked on every front to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and the reason why I think it was very clever of them to cast Ryan Reynolds is because you're also bridging the gap to non-players. So people who don't generally know
Okay.
what Pokemon is, people who don't
Yep.
generally follow Pokemon, but are fans of Ryan Reynolds will show up to this film because let's face it, even in the trailer, it was, they hit some funny bits that Ryan Reynolds did in the trailer. So I think that was enough to kind of push people to the box office or to the movies,
Yeah.
and it helped inflate the box office slightly beyond expectations.
His comedy, because he like there's a few comedic actors and actresses who have their own style, I guess you can call it, almost like Jim Carrey. I think was maybe one of the first ones to have it. Robin Williams had it, and Ryan Reynolds has it.
Yeah, most do. I think what happens with comedians, and I always have this issue with comedians because we've talked about this before. I can only watch a comedian for 2 or 3 films before I get turned off because I feel like they pretty much stick to the same shtick that works for them. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, I get bored of it, so I move on. And I feel like Ryan Reynolds, I feel like kind of does that, but doesn't do it enough. Where I feel like he goes over.
He can change it up when he has to. And fun fact, and again, it's not ruining anything because it's in the trailer. When Pikachu, actually speaks, Pika Pika or whatever, when he talks to other people, the one saying Pika Pika is the original Japanese actor,
voice artist
who played Pikachu. Everyone else, all the other ones are redubbed by new people, but they got, I don't remember his name obviously, but they got him or her, it may have been a woman, to come back and do the Pika Pika lines for Pikachu, which I thought was really cool. And it's fine. My final thing on it, because again, I loved it. Like I said, it's fun. That's what it is. It's just fun. You're not gonna leave there going, it's Citizen Kane, obviously, but it's a good time. It's definitely one of those movies where when you watch it multiple times, you're going to find more stuff in the background and things like that. So good job, Detective Pikachu. Sonic, I'm telling you, man, you have a lot of work ahead of you.
That they do. And just a really quick closing note on Detective Pikachu, because we were talking about box office and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So the Thursday preview for that, they pulled in 5.7 million on the Thursday previews, which is the most for a video game film. So they did break the records on that. I forgot the one that was holding it before, but I think the one before it was only like 3.1 or 3.5 or something. I'm
assuming maybe one of the Resident Evils, maybe?
It was, if it wasn't a Resident Evil, it might have been World of Warcraft, actually.
Okay.
It might have been.
Warcraft, yeah. Because Warcraft had potential. Well, it had potential going in.
Yeah, it bombed in the States, but but it did well overseas. And then the overall cumulative for the weekend gross, it came in number 2 because Avengers Endgame obviously is still hanging on to number 1, but still it came in somewhere around 58 million for the weekend, which is bad, and their estimates for the weekend were going to be 50 to 55, so it outpaced it a little bit, and that which is a good sign for it. So I would definitely recommend, especially if you have kids, to definitely check it out, and if you're an adult who can get into, who can leave the adult home a little bit and kind of enjoy a film for what it is, because let's face it, that's kind of what you have to do with something like this.
Exactly.
Then I would definitely recommend that you check it out, because I agree with you. It was a lot of fun if you're willing to go along for the ride.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is believe.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All
yes.
righty. Josh should be proud of us.
Josh should be proud of us. That's right, Josh. And now I believe there are some other bits of news that we wanted to hit up this episode before we go away.
Yes. So I got something here, actually, probably the only news that kind of I stumbled across. I thought it was awesome. I guess they got tired of giving the game away for free. Tetris 99 now has DLC.
That there's no surprise to that.
No, but it's actually cool. It's $10. I downloaded it. It's really cool. Basically, what the DLC does, it's actually, there'll be 2 DLC packs, one now, one later. The one now gives you new options, such as single player marathon mode, so you have a more traditional Tetris game. You can play Tetris 99 against 98 computer AI, so I guess almost like a practice mode, or if you just want to play online. And I actually finally came in first place on that version, so there we go.
In that version, do all 98 target you immediately and just destroy?
That's what That's what I was expecting to happen, like Skynet. And they're gonna have different like themed backgrounds, which I'm gonna actually get into in a moment. And they're starting to tweak the options as well. Like you can take away the ghost piece that's on the bottom, and different little tweaks on. I think that's more of an upgrade. But I think it's worth it for $10. Look, for the amount of fun and the amount of gameplay we've been having with Tetris 99, that they gave it away for free. I think $10 for DLC is not a problem whatsoever. And what they are doing this weekend, yes, the 17th actually. So they're doing their third Tetris, whatever they call it. Not really a tournament, but you play Tetris 99 on May 17th. You rack up points. Once you get 100 points, Maximus points is what they call them, you get a background skin, a background theme. And the theme is the original Game Boy look to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that I'm looking forward to. That I think is really cool.
I got to put that on my calendar, except I am in New York.
Well, good thing the Switch is portable.
I will be bringing it with me on the plane.
There you go. So very cool for Tetris 99. I say, this is worthy DLC.
Yeah. Oh no, and I agree with you. Really a lot of fun.
Yep. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay, I just got a couple of quick things. I got one thing I wanted to point out here, and it's also on the Switch. The Arcade Archive series. Now, we know that they've been releasing these on the Switch. You have Versus Mario and Versus Excite Bike, I think, dropped or was announced.
Well, Versus Excite Bike, that's like the Famicom version. But you have Versus Super Mario Brothers. You have Donkey Kong, the Arcade Punch-Out. It's basically the arcade games brought to the Switch.
Well, there are a couple of new ones that are going to be added to the Arcade Archives. In fact, one of them already dropped last week, and it was the Ninja Gaiden arcade version, not the NES port, but the arcade version of Ninja Gaiden. You can now play that in the Arcade Archive. And additionally, they just announced coming soon, we're going to get the arcade version of Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Tecmo Bowl, which arguably was probably the first great football game.
I would say I would agree with that.
At least on cartridge base, at least on the NES, I felt like that was one of the best. But the arcade version, which started it all, is going to be popping up on the Switch in the Arcade Archives at some point soon.
There's a ton of them. They're $8 each. I mean, well worth it.
Yeah.
To find those and there's just really good arcade ports. So check those out. Yeah, I may get the Ninja Gaiden one this week because I get paid. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then a couple other things really quickly to touch on. First thing is, have you ever I don't know if we talked about this one or not, but have you heard of the Evercade? I feel like we've discussed this briefly.
Yes, we have. I think there's a few different versions of it, but yeah.
Yeah, the Evercade is a retro-oriented handheld console. It kind of looks like a Switch.
No, I'm thinking of something else then. No,
okay. So it kind of looks like a Nintendo Switch. It's got a 4.3-inch screen, so it's this little portable thing.
Oh, tiny.
It hooks into your TV through HDMI.
Oh, wow.
So you can play it.
Okay.
And the whole idea behind it is it's cartridge based. So
oh, wow.
It's going to have a cartridge slot that you can put a game into, and then obviously you can either play it on the 4.3-inch screen, or you can hook up to your TV and you can through HDMI and you can play it on your television screen. And the reason why I bring this up is they just got their first publisher to jump on board, and I'm very surprised about this because it's Atari. Now,
really? Wow.
Now and the reason why I'm surprised with this is because we all know the Atari Flashback is coming. So the fact that Atari is licensing some of their games out for the Evercade gave me pause for a minute. Now, granted, it's a possibility that this is overseas only because the prices on here are overseas prices.
That wouldn't be shocking.
Yeah, it wouldn't be shocking. So the Atari collection that they have on it, so it's a one cartridge, but it's got 20 Atari games on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's got games like Centipede, Adventure, Asteroids, Missile Command, Crystal Castles, Ninja Golf, if you remember that. Aquaventure, Video Pinball, Tempest, Sword Quest. So it's got a good library of games on it.
Does it have that stupid Rubik's Cube game?
Which one's? Oh,
Remember
Cuber?
that one? The guy would run around the board. It was basically a Rubik's Cube. You don't remember that?
I don't
He was
remember
just
that game.
constantly run around. Oh,
What did he have to do?
Rubik's. It's basically a Rubik's Cube. So you had to change all the
Oh
sides
no,
to get
that
the
one.
same
No,
color.
that one's not on here. So, but anyway,
That was annoying noise to it. Okay.
right. So basically, the bottom line is you're going to be able to play these games on the Evercade, which is portable, or like I said, you can bring it to. You
That's
can hook
cool.
it up to your TV. So it's kind of cool. I'm curious to see what other publishers jump on board because just having Atari, I don't think is good enough. Or if they're going to be creating retro style games, like for 8-bit kind of games or stuff like that.
I think Atari is definitely a good enough publisher to open the door for other publishers to show up. So we'll see what happens. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was the second to last thing that I wanted to share. The last thing I wanted to share, and Larry, we failed to mention this last week, but we did post it on our Facebook page that the Polymega, which is the new retro-based console that you ordered on Kickstarter, the Polymega pre-orders went live. Yes, I see. The Polymega pre-orders went live again. So I'm not, and again, as of this recording, I don't know if they're still live or not, but they did go live.
So. Another 30 days.
Exactly. So you can pre-order your Polymega for delivery in August.
Which I am so excited for because I was expecting December. So
right, exactly. So if you don't know what the Polymega is, the Polymega base console is a CD-ROM based console. It allows you to play CD-ROM based games for 5 different systems. Is it 5 or more? Maybe more.
No. But, it's 5, but
there will be more.
No, well, there can be more on firmware upgrades, but the 5 that they have, North American, PAL, Japanese versions as well. Yes. And not only that, technically 6, because I think Sega CD32X will also work on there.
Right. So Sega 32X, Sega 32X CD will work on there. Sega CD, Sony PlayStation, Neo Geo CD, TurboGrafx CD, and Sega Saturn will all be available to play on this system. And basically what you do, you put the disc right into the system. It pops up into your library. You can even copy the game to your library. It's going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive. You can copy it. Yeah, that's what I read. That. Or maybe it's up to a 1 terabyte. I'm not sure, but I did see 1 terabyte. You can download the game to your library on the system, and then you don't have to use the disc anymore, which is perfect. But most importantly about the Polymega is if you don't just want the CD-ROM based systems, they're selling other bases to play other consoles. So you can actually swap out. You can pick the base up, put it aside, put a new base in, and play that. And they have an NES version, an SNES version, and a Sega Genesis version, and a TurboGrafx 16 version. So you can buy all of them if you want, or you can just buy the base system with the CD-ROM based games. Now, Larry you got yours with the Kickstarter campaign when it first came out.
Well, it's not through Kickstarter, but when they first opened up, because they did it themselves. But they treated it like a Kickstarter. I pre-ordered mine last July, I think it was. It felt like at this point. Yeah. And I got the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm getting all 4 modules, of course, the base module. And if they would have kept raising money, they would have. Depending on how much money they raise, I think they were going to try and do, because they don't have a Famicom adapter. I mean, you can use a Famicom adapter, but there's not a Famicom module.
Right.
They were going to put one of those out. They were going to also do an Atari module.
Wow.
Now, maybe they'll do them down the road, but right now, or hopefully the money from the second pre-order, they'll put towards that. Yeah. And they'll do it. And I want to say they may have been thinking about doing a Neo Geo one, but I can't remember that. But they were planning other modules. Yeah. But the base modules, I'm getting.
Yeah, and the one thing that I'm excited about is with the firmware updates on the CD-ROM one, because I know they're trying to work on getting the Sega Dreamcast on there. Because if they do that, that would be like complete for me. That would be like a complete system for me right there. I
still have my Dreamcast games. I think
I still have my Dreamcast and my Dreamcast games.
I am aware of that. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So again, if you're interested in a retro gaming console that looks like it's going to be like the definitive one, and again, you can check the trailers online. It looks really, really good, and we're both very excited about getting it.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait for it. I've got it on pre-order. The one catch about putting it on pre-order though is you have to pay in advance. You don't pay when it comes out. So you got to be prepared for that. The base module is $300. If you want the entire package, it's $500 with all the other consoles. So not that bad when you think about how much you're getting for it. So go check it out if you're interested. Larry, otherwise, Larry and I will have a review for it in a couple of months.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I like. A couple of months.
Yes.
So.
And that's all that I have for news hits this week.
I think the only other thing I read about, but I got to read a little more into it. As much as the Polymega is coming out with the NES, Super NES, and Genesis hookups and the TurboGrafx, our buddies over at Hyperkin, the clone consoles the Hyperkin have are really good, but I've fallen in love with a lot of their wiring that they have.
Yes.
The HDMI wire for the Wii works, and it works beautifully.
Nice.
Same thing with the HDMI wire that will plug into the PS1 and PS2. Also work beautifully. I read they're coming out with an HDMI wire for your Genesis. Ooh. So you can hook up your original Genesis 1, 2, or 3 via HDMI. And I do believe it will also work, because it had to go through the Genesis anyway, work with the Sega CD.
If that's the case, I have to pick that up like right now.
Yep. And they're coming out with one, because it's the same wire, that will hook into HDMI for your Super Nintendo,
nice,
your N64, and the whole reason why I bought a Wii, so I could have waited a little while, the GameCube.
Nice.
So again, I mean, don't get me wrong, Polymega is a one-stop shop, but the ability to get these wires, and don't hold me to the price, the ones I bought were like $30 each, which are well worth it, in my opinion, just the way they work. So be on the lookout for those, especially if you like using your OG systems. Nothing wrong with hooking them up to HDMI when these wires work. But we're not talking 1080p, but we're just talking crystal clear, and it'll hook into your current television.
Yeah, and that's all we need.
Yep.
It's really all we need.
Check it out. And with that, I think we may be done.
You know what? I was done about 30 minutes ago.
Boo. All righty.
I'm sorry. I'm tired.
I don't blame you. So am I. I haven't slept on a bed in about 3 weeks, and my new bed's not coming for another 2.
Well, that's okay. I slept in a bed for 2 nights for the first time in a while, because I sleep in my recliner, and it was quite painful.
What? It's the only person on the planet. Okay.
What can I say?
So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. And great to. And now we're back. I got everything set up, so we're gonna be back in drive mode with this thing.
Well, and I may see you this week.
I hope so. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. You coming in? I doubt we'll be able to record anything, but maybe we'll be able to run into each other.
We could give it a shot if there's time.
You never know.
That is true.
There's always time. We got a time machine. With that though, maybe get some sleep, because driving back from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, or Los Angeles to Las Vegas, get some sleep, get some rest. And I still got some unpacking I got to do. Trust me, this is not the end of it. So
yeah. But before you do that, for anybody who wants to check us out on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast. Hit us up on Instagram @RetroGamersPodcast. You can check out our website at www.theretrogamers.com, and you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. Listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts: Amazon Alexa, Apple iTunes, Spreaker. Drop us a review on iTunes. It really helps us out a lot, and we're very grateful for having all of you who listen to us, who watch us on YouTube. We're very, very thankful. 138 episodes and going strong. I've managed to not strangle Larry this far. I promise to continue to not do that as we can.
Consummate professional.
Well, and also I can't reach through my computer screen. So
virtual reality, I'm telling you.
Look, I'm sold on that. I told you that.
And with that, folks, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.